Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 65 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. As you can see, I've been making some minor tweaks to my little nifty program here that's going to do all kinds of cool stuff for us. So I can't wait to show you some of the things I've been working on. But I should probably have been cleaning up my inventory before I started recording, but that's okay. This is Direwolf and this is what I do. Anyway, what have I been doing? Dude, all kinds of cool stuff, at least in my opinion. So let's get started taking a look. So let me just put a few things away here before we really get started with this episode. I do have to eventually check out this lost map. I don't think I've actually explored there yet, and I do want you guys to see what's involved. Cool, that should work for now, for inventory cleanup at least. So, I've been making some changes to my computer program, so there's a few things I want to show you that it does now. And like I said, we'll do a separate episode where I explain the code and stuff at some point. But I've added a few buttons here. So first off, I want to note that the screen is set to refresh itself every 5 seconds. Before, you had to manually hit the refresh button in order for that to occur. Now, every 5 seconds, it'll refresh itself. So this is cool because we're going to set this up to start transferring items from this golden chest all the way up to the thing up there that's going to automate our cooking of stuff, right? So that's something we're going to definitely want to handle this episode. And it's probably one of the first things we'll tackle after I show you the changes to the program. The second thing I want to show you is the following. So if we look in here, you'll notice that we have a decent number. We're also going to want to increase the occurrence of wisps spawning, so I'd like to be able to get more wisps going on, and that's something we're going to work on this episode too. But for now, I want you to note that there's not quite enough of most of the aspects to really fill all the jars. So for example, we only have 8 spiritus, so that's going to give us a total of 16 spiritus in the liquid essentia form. So that's really not going to be enough to fill up a jar. And the way this system works is that it's kind of dependent on this chest having at least one of each item in here. If we, for example, were to pull out all the Vitium, it would fill it up with something that's not Vitium, like Perdito or something that we have a ton of, right? Because we don't have any other Vitium in the system, but the export bus here is configured to just export anything. So it's not really smart enough to say like, oh, you're out of Vitium, let me only put Vitium in this slot. So as a result, I wanted to configure the program of the computer here to not be allowed to empty the inventory slots. So you'll notice, so for example, if we went over to Vitium and we tried to fill it up, you'll notice that the available Vitium is 16. Cool. So currently the essentia upstairs in the jars is 0. The available amount of Vitium is 16. And if we come over here, you'll notice that Vitium, there's currently 9 of them. So there's really 18. But I'm saying that there's only 16 available, meaning I want to leave 1 Vitium available. So if I were to try and bump this up, right, so we bumped it up to +6 here. Oh, I think I broke something. It's not working. Buttons no work. Oh, I've crashed something. Let's try this again. Vitium, I'll fix whatever bug that is. +6, there we go, +6, +6. You'll notice that we're at 16 here, right? You'll notice that I can't hit +6 anymore. It just stays at 16. Cool. And if I execute fill request, you'll notice that it moved the 8 Vitium that were necessary for the 16 of the liquid essence type, and it always leaves 1 behind. And if we were to try to get more Vitium over here, so we went over to Vitium, you'll see available Vitium is 0, and I can't hit plus at all, and I can't even hit refill jar. So basically, I mean, I could hit execute fill request, but it won't do anything. Still, only 8 Vitium is allowed in there. So that's one of the things I made sure to make happen. And I also made a refill all button. Now this thing doesn't have a prompt, so maybe I should add like are you sure or something, but you'll notice that if I hit refill all, boom, it's going to zip through here and it's going to take a second. Dun, 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 dun. And you'll notice that the chest now has pretty much a ton of different aspects in there. But it only moved the aspects of stuff that we need. So for example, you'll notice that Arbor, it probably, how are we for Arbor? I think Arbor's full. So it didn't move any Arbor up there. Cool. And something like Cognito probably would have only moved like 4 Cognito up. So do we have any Cognito in here? Where might Cognito be? Meto, Air, Metallum, Cognito. So you notice that there's 6 Cognito left here. Cognito is this-ish color. It's kind of hard to see which one's Cognito unless you mouse over them and find it. Humanus, Messis. Where might Cognito be? Messis, Meto, Bestia. It's like a lightish pink. There we are, 4. So it only moved 4 cognito up, which is exactly what we need, right? 64 minus 56 is 8, and divided by 2 is 4. So the refill all button will literally just grab everything in the chest, minus 1, so that it doesn't always snag the last one. It does the same thing intelligently, but it will move all the necessary essentia aspect points up into that chest, and it will basically, once these get boiled down, should wind up either A, completely refilling the jar to the point of 64, or B, it will go ahead and do stuff. So it'll only, like, leave one behind, and we'll just fill up as much as we can. Cool. So for now, I'm going to wind up moving all these things back here. You'll notice, of course, that things like the primals, air, terra, aqua, ordo, perdito, we have so much of those in the A system that it kind of, refilled itself, but that's fine. So we'll get everything populated back here. So you'll notice we really don't have quite enough aspects to do everything that we want to do, which is why I want to amp up the spawn rate inside that nifty chamber. Victus, huh? Okay, cool. So that we get more wisps spawning. And I might need to set up something where we void eventually, the different types of primals. But, we'll handle that later. For now, let's get some routing of items around. So do we have any item conduits? We have a few item conduits. Let me do some crafting. I'm going to get ready to make some stuff and some things, and we will be right back. Alright guys, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to configure this guy right here, and let's snag, I just put this wrench away too, because I'm a dire derp. But we'll configure this thing to insert on the green channel. That sounds cool. We'll route this thing kind of down here, so we'll do this, and I could put it right through to here, and then we'll just facade this so that it'll look nice still. And it won't, look any different, but from the outside it'll look pretty cool. I could probably even facade this outside, so even outside it'll look nice, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I've already cleared out the path that I want to have, so we'll kind of run this down here. This looks halfway decent. Let's just see. I probably just want to route downwards through here. And once this connection is complete, our Essentia refill system should be pretty awesome. Let's configure this guy's down connection to be disabled. And this guy, we will configure his north direction to be always active. Cool. So now we should be ready to go. Let's take a look. What I want to do is potentially fill up some mortise. Let's get, let's get 6 in there. Execute fill request. Go. What we should wind up with is mortise aspects cooking up in here. Nice. Look, he's already going. You can see that it did actually throw some mortise in there. Let's see. What jar? So it did aurum first. That's fine. And modis. Is that what I requested, or mortise? Did I do modis or mortis? I guess I did modis. That's fine. I must have clicked modis by mistake. Okay, let's do mortis now. There you go. Mortis plus 6. Execute fill request. And if we go upstairs, the same thing should be happening. Cool. Look at it go. Nice. Beautiful. That is awesome. I like everything about how this is working already. Dare we try the refill all? I think we should. Let me put this stuff away that I got while digging around, and I'm going to snag my jar labels. Because what I want to do is be able to hit refill all, have everything start filling up, and then I can label all my jars. Does that sound cool? Or maybe I'll just kind of, do a handful of these as a quick test. And I want to fix that one bug, which I'm pretty sure I know what was happening there. So let's see. Aurum is over on the left, so we're currently at 16 aurum. Oh, look, Messis just went up to 2. So I'm also testing the auto refresh right now to make sure we see Messis and aurum going up, right? So aurum went up to 18. Messis is at 2 currently. That should bump up soon. No, Messis. I only did 2 Messis, right? So let's do Machina. We'll do 6 on that. Execute. And we should see Machina and aurum also start to go up now. There we go. Arm just went up a little bit. Nice. It's working. That is cool. I'm a little bit excited by this. I don't mind telling you guys. All right, I'm just gonna like pull the trigger on refill all. Does that sound like a plan? I think so. So you'll notice that all these things start moving into here, and this is just going to be a giant backlog of all the stuff that needs to be filled up. So as the things upstairs start filling and doing what they're doing and getting cooked down, we'll just progress down the line here and more things will get refilled. Cool? So you can see something's happening right now. See, look, it just snagged another one out of there. Nice. This is actually working beautifully. So of course it'll have a little bit of a backlog probably. It's currently working on Sano and some other things. I'm going to let this thing just run. And ideally what this means is when we're done here, we will have, kind of processed all the backlog of essence types in there. And I'm going to pretty much at this point call this a completed build. I might want to put some covers around or something. Maybe a couple minor tweaks here and there. Like I said, there's that one bug I want to fix that I know about where it crashed earlier. I'm pretty sure I know why that happened. And otherwise, we will come back in a minute to figure out what's up. And I think what we want to do next is probably handle what I'm thinking, faster spawning of wisps. Okay, we will be back. So by the way, guys, we're not quite done with this process yet, but it's working perfectly. The one thing I noticed is he liked to climb up on this jar and run across the top of the jar. So he would instead of just running here and filling this up, he would run all the way around here, climb on top of this jar and run all the way over here to fill the jar. So I put a block there just to prevent him from doing that. But other than that, I mean, it's working great. We can see there's still a backlog of items in our gold chest if we pop down there real quick. And yep, so we still have a ways to go in terms of filling up these jars with the backlog of items, but the refill all button working perfectly. I mean, that's cool, right? And the refresh function is also working perfectly. It's automatically refreshing, and you'll notice here that every so often refresh blinks and it just kind of repopulates the current numbers of all the different types of stuff that we've got. So that's cool too. All right, I'm going to let him continue to run and then we'll be back to work on, I think we're going to want more wisps, like I said. Oh, and I also decided to speed this up a little bit by having both columns work on the same thing. I mean, it works fine that way. So, woot. Anything in these jars yet? Not quite, but probably soon. Filling up some panis, that's cool. Nice. It's fun watching them both run around and do stuff, especially when they're as fast as they are with the brainy golem thingy. Yeah, you know what I mean. Alright guys, I think that's the last of the jars. So they are now all full, and if I counted correctly and we don't have any duplicates anywhere, this thing should completely empty once it's done melting down these aspect types. And they might just be, doing a bunch of arm right now, but, we'll see what comes of this. But yeah, basically what should happen is we shouldn't have any stuck aspects, which would mean that we are good. And all jars have labels and are as full as they could potentially be at this point. Sweet. So we'll let the last of the essence drizzle down here. And that's that. Nice. Cool. Just for fun, I wonder if we have any more aspects that we can do. I'm just going to hit refill all again. Nothing should really be moved. Maybe, if any wisps were recently killed that just happen to be the kind we need, but no, see, nothing moved. So we are pretty much at this point needing to kill more wisps. But we've got at least every jar filled with something, which means they were all able to be labeled successfully. By the way, you can, if you have some aspect essence, if you want to prepare the labels ahead of time, you can just combine the little file that has the aspects in it in a crafting table with a label, and you'll be good. Alright, so let's consider how we can expand this room to have more wisp killing potential. So what I think I'm going to do is wind up, instead of just having the one wisp spawner, have 4. So let's first expand this area out. So if we did something like that, and that, and that, and that, we should be able to come in here and let's snag our hammer. Sweet. And I could even equal trade this if I wanted to. Let's do just a small area just to make sure. That looks good. Cool. We could even probably knock out this wall a little bit and get more of this glass. But we'll worry a little bit more about that in a minute. There we go. Yeah, so that'll be good. Then we can have a spawner here. And what I'm thinking is I want there and there as well. So I'm going to bump this wall out in the back. So let's do pretty much the same thing. We will do 1, 2, like that. There we go. That looks halfway decent. And then we should be able to bump this wall out as well, like I say. So then there should be a relatively even amount of space in here. Let's get this guy equal traded. And that should be cool. So now we can put like spawners 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be good. Now the range of the automatic killing machine may be a bit of a concern, right? So let's see. So yeah, he can only kill things like so, right? So that's probably a problem-ish. He can't kill things where the glass is, right? No. So we might want to consider if I want a second one in here or how we want to handle this. What I'm thinking is maybe just leave it as is, and hopefully the wisps, as they fly around this room, will just eventually fly into the grinder's radius and get killed. But we're going to want to keep an eye on it. If we wind up seeing a lot of wisps just kind of hanging out in this area where the thing is not able to hit them, then we might need to worry about having more grinders in this room and maybe expanding it a bit. So what I'm going to do is get more of these spawners. So in order for that to work, we're going to need 3 more vanilla wisp spawners. And we'll be back in a minute once I find them. Okay, guys, 1 down. Come here, you. All right, almost 1 down. Nice. That was a good shot, in my opinion. Did I get the wisp spawner? Yes. Ooh, I think I found another one. Let's set a waypoint here and go investigate. So I'm seeing a lot of these obelisk things, which I'll investigate as I get a little bit further into my career as a thaumaturge, but I'm continuing to hunt and search for those pillars that have wisp spawners in them. I've got the 1, but I need to find 2 more. And one more thing I needed, guys, for this is some emeralds. So I went to a village, found some villagers, and traded up some emeralds. Alright, heading back to the base. Alright, so far I've got 1 wisp spawner, but we're going to make a couple more in a second here. But I just want to see, do I have everything I need? I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. That'll get mostly there. That'll get me 2 of these, I believe, right? We're going to want some machine chassis, so let's get 3 of these. Go. That should be a quick and easy craft. So that's 1, 2. We're going to need some more vibrant alloys. Let's craft 3 more of those. Start, please. I'm going to have to set up my ender pearl farm once again soon. I'm still at 114 ender pearls. I'm alright. But that farm is still just sitting outside, and it's probably bugging you guys as much as it is me. I'll move it inside one of these days, I promise. So vibrant alloys cooking up. I just need 1 more set of them. Let's combine in a moment here the powered spawner with the broken wisp guy, but there we go. That's what we needed. 1, 2, and that should be enough for 3 more spawners. Nice. The main concern here, of course, will be power, but we'll deal with that in a minute. I'm going to want 30 experience levels, right? Luckily, I have this giant experience farm down here. Makes me very pleased that I set this up early on. Anvil gets a powered spawner and a wisp. Nice. So that's 1 of the 3 that I wanted to craft. Oh, and by the way, I made a few more of these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. So you're ready to go, active with signal, same as you. All right. I'll come back in a minute. What I need to do is, well, you know what? Now, let me see. I have to test. I haven't tested if the soul vial will let me catch a wisp. So we're going to find that out now. Soul vial. I'm going to want 2 of them, and I can convert existing spawners that I've found into wisp spawners. But first, we have to spawn a few wisps. So let's go. It's cooking, it's thinking. This is the part where you spawn a wisp. Please. There it is. Yoink. Nice. Alright, cool. One more, please. Thank you. So we'll get... I should have more broken spawners. Really? Just have the one? Alright, well I know where to go get another one. Let's put this in here and this in here. That's going to require 15 levels to convert. Could have sworn I had more of those guys, but that's okay. Oh, I know where to find some. You go there. That should start cooking, by the way, right? Yes. So that's going to actually take a few minutes. It requires quite a lot of power and time to do that. But there should be some spawners in that Thaumcraft dungeon back here that I can also convert into a wisp spawner with this Wispy Essence Soul Vial. So, down here we go. Nice. There we go. I'll take both of you, thanks. And I'll be back in a minute. What I want to do is run some power over there and, do all the configurations. Then we should have 4 times the wisp spawning capacity that we had before. Hey, you. No, you're not allowed out. On my to-do list is to still figure out how they're escaping. But I'll sort that out in a bit. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, see, it's going to take a while. Very, very slow. I'll come back in a minute when it's done. Just want to make sure, yeah, we're good on power. Alright, I think we're pretty much ready here. Let's set this up. So we've already got a wisp spawner here. This is the empty spawner, which we'll make into a wisp spawner as well. And let's turn this off for the time being. We're already doing pretty good, it looks like. Nice. You're like killing stuff still, right? So this guy is hiding in the corner there, but like I said, we'll consider doing something about that. But let's just... Oh, I made that into that kind? Okay, well that's okay, I can handle that. Let's just... I forgot which kind of conduit I used. Ouch. Stop that. I wasn't bothering you, but okay. So we're going to set this guy to active with signal. You'll notice he's no longer running. We'll set this guy to active with signal, and he's no longer running. I just want to drop down here and make sure that we are cool with everything that we've done. Looks good to me. So that's neat. So that'll be... Oh, you know what we need is more octadic capacitors. That's absolutely something we're going to need. So 3x of those, please. Nice. Okay, but in theory, that should be pretty cool. Let's do this. Let's come back in a minute after those octadics are done cooking, and then I will test out this build. Alright guys, 2 down, 1 to go. I'm just going to populate this one, and by that time we should be... Nice, the third one's ready. Cool. So each of these will be 1500 RF a tick, which will be a total of 6000 RF a tick. Eek. But let's turn it on for a second and see how it goes. Yoink. So these guys should actually start spawning rather rapidly. A large number of wisps will start spinning up in here. I might wind up tossing a grinder on one of these sides to kind of help prevent there from being any areas that can't get, dead wisps. But yeah, look at this thing. It's spawning like crazy now. But of course it's probably like completely destroying my ability to retain power. Yeah, see, this thing's flying out of power like faster than you can believe. 6000 RF a tick. In addition to everything else my base is doing, definitely not something we're going to want to handle. So I might need to build a... Oh, there we go. Hey, wisps are popping out back here. Is that where they're sneaking out of? Alright, let's turn this off. Kill all these wisps. Stop spawning for a minute. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out where all these guys are sneaking out from. Yeah, if I can figure out where these guys are sneaking out of, then I can be in much better shape with this thing, because it'll guarantee that every wisp that spawns can get killed. Any other guys sneaking around up here? Gotcha. Alright, let's flip this back on and see where they're sneaking out from. Spawn, please. I feel like we're in better shape now. I'll keep an eye on this for a few minutes, sleep through the night, and be back. Alright, so I did decide to go with another grinder. Shouldn't be too hard to set up, because they are kind of hiding out in that back corner there and just not getting killed. So all we got to do is that, and then get some power down to it. And that's the perfect excuse to use bad mode. We'll just sneak down into here and run power. Just like this. Very easy. And a facade will do us. Oh, and we'll want to hook up the connection here for items too. That I was not ready to do. Let's get our item conduits then. You will be set to extract all. Always active. And back to bat. There we go. This will be set to disabled. Cool. And I'll come back after I do this off camera real quick. Alright, so we've got item conduits running through here. This guy's set to extract. He's killing stuff, obviously, because his essence is going up. That's a good sign. And overall, we should have a lot faster production of wispy essences. I also closed the back off over here a little bit more. I bumped it out even further. That might protect us from wisps escaping. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if I'm correct about that. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. I might even throw another layer under here just to be a little bit extra safe. It's not even like I'm worried about them killing me, it's I just don't want to waste any wisp essences, right? Now at some point I might configure it so that we start exporting the primals, because we're starting to get a lot of primals, as you can see. What's my current storage space looking like? Oh yeah, we've got plenty of storage left. I mean, yeah, we're not even touching any amount of storage that we have to worry about, so we're actually pretty good there. Let's real quick pop over here and see how things are doing. So if we jump downstairs, we should see some numbers starting to go up. So see, we're starting to get more of these. Nice. And what are you doing? Oh. I left the area and it might have chunk unloaded? Yeah. Edit startup, shell.run, aspects. Or maybe it's, I think I might have quit the game for a minute. There we go. Restart. There we are. Now everybody's happy again. So let's hit refill all and see what happens. So that should actually throw at least a few essences up there. Nice. So any that we've accumulated since the last time we ran this are now getting converted into liquid aspects. And just refilling the jars a bit. Now there's one problem, and that would be power. If we run downstairs here, we might see that we are quickly burning through the power in this gigantic resonant energy cell. That might be a problem for us. So here's what I'm thinking. You ready? I think we're going to build a dedicated power source for this thing. So are any wisps outside at the moment, by the way? One is. Sneaky wisp. Still escaping. But it's far less common now, at least, so that's a good sign. If it's every now and then, I'm okay with it. But if it's a lot of them, that's a problem for me. Like when we looked before and there were a ton outside, yeah, that wasn't good. But it looks like we're at the point right now where it's every now and then, and that's something I can tolerate. Oh well, we'll see what happens. For now, let's see. I'm just going to let this run for a minute and just make sure everything's good. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty solid here. I haven't seen Wisps escape since that one, so either that was a carryover from before I bumped out the wall, or it's just super uncommon. Either way is fine with me. So what I'm going to do now is wrap up the episode. We will come back next time, and what I'm going to do is build a dedicated power production system specifically for this room so that it has its own separate power source, separate from my main power source, because I don't want the Wisp generation causing an issue with the amount of power I've got. Look how much we've lost already in the short period of time that I've been just waiting and watching for a few minutes here. So what I'm going to do is turn this guy off for now. Off. No more Wisp production. And we'll come back next time. We need to produce a power source. Oh, look, he's even like struggling to keep up with the amount of power he needs. Yeah, his power demands are struggling, to say the least. So yeah, what I'll do is come back next time with a dedicated power source, hopefully capable of producing somewhere around 6,000 RF per tick. I wonder what it could be. I don't know. We'll have to wait till next episode. So for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will come back next time to have more fun working on this crazy amount of Wisp production. And at this point, I think like our Thaumcraft stuff is pretty awesome. So I might progress down the line of Thaumcraft, but I might want to do a couple other things besides that power generator, or at least after that power gen system. I'm not entirely sure, but there's a long list of things I could do at this point. I would like to have better armor. I noticed those Wisps were kind of hurting me. And Man of Steel armor is really kind of on the par with iron. So maybe it's about time I looked into Terra Steel, which is an upgraded form of armor available from Britannia. And it's a very nice bit of armor at that. I mean, we have a decent amount of stuff down here. What I wouldn't mind is getting a few more. You know what I'm going to do is probably hook up a little bit more by way of mana pools down here, get that last set in that I never moved. I should probably fix these covers, but I'll get to that too at some point. And I should come up with a new spot for the Ender Farm. So there's a lot of things to do. And that's, you know, all kinds of stuff. All right, guys, take it easy.